So we did end up in the crazy realm of $55,000. Crypto market right now is looking super crazy. A lot of people are getting kicked off. They are getting proved wrong. Why? Because the market is super crazy. The market is showing you that there has been a price momentum which was already there. We followed it up, we were talking about it. And now what happens is that you are reaching that territory. You're kind of blowing through each of those ranges. And at this point, you need to keep in mind the fact that when the market does things like this, you now have to take a step back, understand what's happening on a macro realm that gives you added advantage in the market. Because right now you're at 55,000. It's easy to say it now, but when you go back, we had shared this thought process all the way. Say this is using BNB few months back, saying while this play out in BNB, I would look for a 45 to 55K range in Bitcoin. Now, where is BNB? It's at 400. It's just about that. And we reached $55,000. Now, a lot of different assets are showing that it's blowing through. There has been resistances, but who cares? The bulls are now doubling down. So if you did the same, you're now watching your portfolio going through to the new highs. That's going to be the new story. That's going to be the new realm, the new reality. So now you're like, okay, I see that. What's XRP doing? We're still inside this pattern. Now, I would really like to see this particular range playing out as a cup and handle and breaking to the upside. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get to learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. We've been talking about this. We've been taking you guys through this, saying, this is maybe a week back, like 5 days back, saying it's a rinse and repeat. Watch, it's going to come to that top. That was the thumbnail, right? We talked about the crazy movements. We told you in yesterday's video that the price would first show you that I'm going to the downside, and then boom, it blows through. Why? That's how the market works. Like, it kind of says, I'm going down. A lot of people start to short. And then what happens? It's a double-edged sword. It just goes back and whoop you. If you don't understand that the recent past matters a lot. This is the recent past. I mean, this has been a textbook pattern if you've been following that. We've been following that when the price was 38,000. Now remember, it's not just at 38,000. If you followed the Scientific Investor family from some time, you already know this. When everyone else were calling for the downside at $16,000 Bitcoin, we were saying this, watch. This is the bottom. Historically speaking, that's the bottom. What happens? That's your bottom. You go up. Next time at $25,000, whoa, big accounts were saying we're going down. And our thought process was no reason history looks the same. We're going to blow through. What happens? You go up to 45,000. That was the structure on a macro chart with a lot of details, making sure you understand this. And what did I say? I think bears are in for some serious trouble. And after a few months, that the time is proving that, yeah, you were right. And it's not because there is some crystal ball or magic. It's just because we've been focusing more on the recent past. Now, take all of those and go into the altcoin market, because right now, Bitcoin dominance is bouncing back up. We are looking at 2 key regions in the Bitcoin dominance. If you do get rejected from here, great, it's perfect. If not, you're going for region 2. And that means some of those coins which are highly correlated with Bitcoin is still running up. And the others are still slow. But even at that point, you realize the fact that the market now is running hot. It's not going below the $2 trillion mark. It's riding higher. You're watching, say, some of these, just in yesterday's video, I think it was in yesterday's video, where I shared this saying chart of Pepe showing, watch this. I think this is about to blow off. What happens? The next day, boom, 35% up. This is something which shows you there is a lot of liquidity coming into the market. That's where the breakouts, that's where all of these things get materialized perfectly. And if you are looking to join the group of 1,000+ individuals in the SI family to take benefit of those, look at the link in the description below where we are going through a lot of these trades. And one of the primary reasons I say this is a lot of people don't think like this. If you want to go big and you're looking for it as a big trade, it usually doesn't end up that way. Rather, if you focus on breaking it down, this may work. This may really work because this makes it easier if you have discipline. Remember, we pushed our trading bag up and we reached 7x in that. And it's not a magic. It's not one single trade. It took a lot of different trades with discipline to reach there. And I think from here, there is a ton of opportunity in this market over the next 2 months, 2.5 months, where you will see a lot of opportunities, breakouts coming in front of you. You just have to make sure you enter the right assets. You just have to make sure you're riding the right assets. Now, you may ask like, okay, everything is blowing up. Why should I care? This is the reason. At the same time, on the other end, you will see some of them slowing down. So you need to know which one is following the current momentum and use it for your advantage. You're looking at the line of candlesticks showing you a lot of different thought process ideas here. And one of the primary things to keep in mind is that when the price action does these, we are looking at this and asking the question like, okay, we've seen these kind of moves. We've seen these kind of moves. We've seen this too, where the negative divergence kind of gets confirmed at least for a moment here. And then you're breaking that to the upside. That's something to keep in mind. And at that point, I'm jumping onto the monthly. I'm like, oh, wait, I want to know what's happening. I'm zooming in on the monthly. And this is what I'm seeing. I told you guys, last month when the candle close came in, a lot of big YouTubers on the crypto Twitter were giving you the direction that we're going down. But we told you, no, history is rhyming. We may actually get another candle which would be bigger than the last month. And now we have it. What next? What would be the biggest possibility, or what would be the odds aligning towards? And that's where you have to think that, okay, if the market is doing something big like this, that means, okay, the concern is increasing. Now we are at 37%. If the price this month goes up to 60,000, 62,000, that's like, whoa, you're now getting extended. Yeah, you don't really want to see that kind of an extension in a healthy market. But remember, even when you have the negative divergence confirmed, the price went up $20,000. That was like 50% to the upside. Now put that perspective here in. The negative divergence was confirmed close to 52,000. If you put that 50% there, that's big numbers. You're talking about $70,000, $75,000. That would be surprising. But you also have to look at the total market and ask the question like, okay, are we still maintaining the divergence? We started forming the negative divergence here. We are still below this, even though the price is going up. So the 3-day is still aligning towards, okay, we are trying to make a top. Great. We want to see that. That's where you will see a lot of money starting to jump into the altcoin market. I'm not saying alts are not doing well, because we are right now in trades doing exceptionally well. You guys are watching my trades. When I buy, when I sell, you guys get to see those in the alerts and you know which coins I'm riding and what we are doing now. It's good. Now, yes, we missed some opportunity. We closed some at 50% profit. Now it would be 80, 90%, right? But then we moved on to another asset with the same capital and we're moving in the same way. So just be consistent, whichever direction you take. If you're targeting 50%, now you need 12 trades, fine. If you're targeting 30%, if that's you, now you need 18 trades. Now, if you're like, no, I don't want that amount of trades, I have more time, and you're focusing on 100% trade, on average, you need 7 trades to do that. This is just the easy math. So if you are starting with 3,000, multiply that with 3. If you're starting with 10,000, multiply that with 10. This is what's going to happen in your portfolio if you're disciplined and you find the right opportunities. Right now, you're watching a lot of these coins are trying to break through and just surpass. Look at the volume increasing. Look at that break and the direction. Money is moving into the smart contracts. Money is moving into the gaming, even to the meme coins. They are attracting more cash flow right now. You're watching one here, another one here, another one here. So you're watching that segment of the market now attracting more capital. So now we go back to the fundamental coin. It's not moving yet. We got rejected here, which is a good story. 0.53 kind of stayed. And that's a good news because we've been looking at that and saying that should be the local support. But what next? We would like to see the price breaking the moving average, the 21-day moving average on a weekly. And that is an important perspective. While the money is moving into the altcoins, this is good, this is perfect. You'll see this going up. But when the same is happening in Bitcoin, altcoins are kind of slow. It's not generating that amount of momentum which we really want. Now, here you think like there is a possible negative divergence coming. But what happened? The candle which closed the weekly for altcoins, it did not close in bearish terms. It closed in bullish terms. So you did not end up getting a micro negative divergence there, which Bitcoin actually got, but altcoins did not. That's something to keep in mind because at that point we should be thinking like, okay, that means altcoins did fake out and they are going to travel much higher. And this is where the ether comes into play. When you take the entire altcoin market, you're watching that's going up. It's getting close to $1 trillion and it's just getting started. Again, understand the price action is rhyming what it has done before for some reason. When we were in this range, I told you guys, if you've been watching this channel for last 3, 4, 5, 6 months, you already know we took you through all these stages. We told you we are now entering this phase here. After that comes the big momentum phase. You're going to see a lot of different altcoins doing 10, 20, 50, 60x. Yeah, obviously, when you try to pick a winner of 100x, the risk which you're taking is too much. Don't do that. Do like this. If it's me, I would try to avoid the losers so that I get at least the average or above average return in the market. That's better. If the market is going to do a 40x, target that. I would argue that's much, much better than trying to get that 100x coin, the 1000x coin. Don't fall for that kind of a trap. Be consistent over a long period of time, and what happens is the market rewards you. So if this is where we are going, from this point, you are now watching that the market is about to run 500%. That means a lot of small caps are going to do 50x for sure. So you have massive opportunity in front of you. You just have to notice which of these projects are getting adoption. The number of nodes increasing in that project gives you an idea which one to take. If all of that feels really hard for you, just go on a weekly chart, put it on a Heikin-Ashi, look at this. If the weekly is in green, that's perfect. Then you go on a daily and you see the daily is also in green. Okay, the momentum is here. We are following that momentum. Great. It's good. You don't want anything else. This is easy way to follow the momentum. I would say follow it now. While that exists, follow it. It won't last forever. When the market starts doing something like this, for ease of understanding, Go on a weekly chart and look at this. How long have you done this before? Or you go on a monthly and look at this. When it starts like this, breaking through a range, now we are starting something really great. But with ETF discussions on Ether coming in, it's going to be a little bit quicker. Most likely scenario is that it's going to be super quick. Maybe just 6 months. Instead of going it for a 9-month ride, it may end up in 6 months. Fine. In both cases, we welcome the upside. We are riding the market, so we welcome the upside. Now, if you go back to XRP on a monthly to weekly chart, the question actually becomes like, are we watching something? Are we looking for something positive here in the market? Yes, for sure. On a monthly, the price is respecting this range as a support, and that happens to be the moving average. So you cannot neglect the fact that XRP is now forming a new support from where we would start bouncing off. That's a good story. But it's still a story. We want to see that materializing, and for that, you need to see the price breaking 0.6. That's the first line of indication, because while all these other assets move to the upside, Bitcoin going through that 50,000, 55,000, 56,000, while it actually does that, a lot of people would have a hard time looking for XRP when it's not moving. That's where opportunity exists in the market. But unless you're a long-term investor, you're not watching that. You're literally blinded by the market because the market shows you a lot of other coins are moving. But take advantage of that too. When the market is moving, follow the trend, make the money. You have liquidity. Now you can wait for XRP to do great things. Because when the price is moving, not a lot of people would show you that this can really happen in front of you. When the euphoria enters, the market does things which is kind of unpredictable. A lot of people will not understand that. They will not try to look at things that way. But that's where I say go on a monthly, remove all this, look at what the monthly is showing. If it's getting overextended, no one knows where it's going, but for sure it's going up and it may not look healthy. Because for the retracement guys, they would actually think like it's done here. And that's where I've been reiterating this. And I know there has been a lot of people, naysayers, coming in the comment section saying this is different this time. You are getting it wrong. Fine. But if history shows you that the top happens in each cycle like this, why should we go against it? Let it first reach that territory. And I went through this multiple times. The biggest candle pops happen here when the monthly is entering the overbought territory. So students, we had to see that that's the reality. And we're watching that. I'm happy to see a lot of you are with me on this, and we are riding that critical portfolio which we made in altcoin market, and that's doing wonderful. While you're in the market, while you're making money, make sure this may not last for a long time. So don't let the greed take over when the portfolio is running crazy. That will not end up great. So while you see the market is running hot, fine, look for cautious signals, look for red flags, and when they arise in front of you, make sure you understand them and make sure you try your max to take benefit of that outside the market. Because if you put in the stable coin, what happens? You'll end up buying some other asset. Yes, you made great gains, but then you'll end up buying something else and that dropping back. It won't be the best thing to do. So while the market goes up like this, while the market shows you there is huge opportunity in front of you, few are going to become wealthy. There would be few turning new millionaires, but the existing millionaires, they're going to go to new levels. Multi-millionaire status and upside is waiting for them. Why? Because they had the patience to go through this phase and to accumulate the right asset during this phase. Now, they will be rewarded. The newcomers will say they are lucky, but they will be rewarded for the amount of stress and education and execution which they put into this market. Don't go euphoric. When you see euphoric actions in the market, think about the opposite side. So right now, Bitcoin is starting to look euphoric on a monthly, on a weekly. It looks like that. And if you enter a daily chart and you're like, okay, high momentum phase is coming. You come back to the moving average, you bounce off. You come back to the moving average, you bounce off. This is the exact same thing we told. But what am I looking at? I'm personally like, okay, if that's what has happened in the past, I would look for that. Maybe at 57, maybe at 58, maybe at 60. I don't know where the local top is going to be. I'm not trying to pick that on. Rather, I'm looking at this and saying like, okay, if the analysis we have done was right at 16,000, if the same was right at 25,000, and if the same was right at 38,000, we're getting something right. And we don't want to go against it. We'd use the same strategy, the same method to analyze the market and to understand, yeah, it's following the same path. Yes, it's reaching this range. Okay, now I'm cautious. That 57 mark, it just came to that range. That's big. That's a biggie, right? That's a biggie. And I'm like, okay. Now is the time to be a bit cautious. You just reached that territory. That's a resistance. So unless we get a candle close on a daily above that, I would personally look at this as a super tough resistance, because we had the first thought process of this is going to bounce back. I know, I've seen a lot of people. I have even taken screenshots of, accounts with hundreds of thousands of followers calling this as fake and this move to come in. I show that in the SI family, but I don't post it on the other side because I want to show them, okay, this is the thought process in the market, but don't fall for that. That's where they trap you. You want to follow the market. You don't want to go against it. So guys, if you received value from the SI family, smash that like button. And if you'd like to join the SI family on all of these strategical trades to get all of these charts at the right time, make sure you don't miss this bull season. If that's for next 2 months, great. If that's for next 3 months, 6 months, make sure you have the advantage of well-educated charts so you know what's coming. Because not a lot of people saw this coming when it was at 200. Now it's 100% up at 400 and people are saying, yeah, that's bullish. But we were different. We saw that coming months earlier. That's why I tell you, we have value. Join the SI family. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.